It looks like a cemetery.
Where's everybody?
I don't know.
Obeying horror movie rules, I'm going to go out alone. You stay here while I go out looking for help.
Okay. God bless him. Leaving me here alone and defenseless in a cemetery. What a guy.
Yo, this is Inside the Dumpster, here back at it again, and this time I'm talking to you about ghost stories. Now, if you're not familiar with this show, it's really the tale of two shows, the dub versus the sub. So initially, in the Japanese version of this, the sub, it didn't go too hot in Japan, and it kind of bombed. So ADV Films, in America, licensed it, got a dub out of it, and the only restrictions were for the voice actors to keep the characters' names essentially the same, and just keep the plot kind of rolling. Everything else in the middle, it's a freestyle free-for-all. Everything else is different. It's just absolutely funny and hilarious. It's one of probably the first instances of an abridged series. And here, just take a look at a few of these.
It's a start.
Hey, you remember a couple episodes ago you promised me some panties if we win in that house? Well, I'm still waiting for them, and I'm not getting any younger. Oh, hey, watch where you're going.
Hush.
She's weird, but I'd still do her. What's she doing?
She did that yesterday. Do we want to know?
Maybe she's paying her respects at the animal cemetery.
The animal cemetery?
Yes, the animal cemetery. Hear the plot point bells going off?
Of course. Hope Stephen King never sees this.
So, let's go over the characters real quick. So there's Satsuki, who's probably the most mellow and sane character of the bunch in the dub, which is honestly saying a lot. We have Momoko, who is Satsuki's numero uno and born-again Christian, which is absolutely hilarious. Hajime, who is an absolute ladies' man. We have Leo, who's kind of the brains of the bunch and also Jewish. We have the little boy Kichiro, and he is basically autistic. And then we have the cat Amino Jaku. Hard weird word to say, but he's basically just this asshole demon cat that's absolutely hilarious when it comes along. And the rest of the main cast are just quirky teachers and Satsuki's dad and stuff like that. And also there's this ghost girl who they keep running into. I think her name is Naka, but not totally sure. Anyways, it doesn't really matter who the characters are in this show. It's just an awesome riff. And they all kind of like fill their niche and they just go on from that. So, as far as animation quality, it's pretty on par for the 2001-2000 styling and sound quality, and it's pretty good in the dub. I have absolutely no complaints about this. Now, as for plot, oh boy, yeah, it still exists in some shape or form, but that's not really why you're here anyways. This is an improv anime at its very best. If you want some good laughs, it's just cheap, tasteless humor at points, but it's also just absolutely hilarious. It's the place to be. As for the sub version, which I watched a little bit of to get some perspective, it's just dull and bad. Just don't even bother. I can see why it bombed, and I'm just glad it bombed, because this is where I think some of the origination of abridged versions come with, and I'm happy for that happening, honestly. Now, looking at what I would recommend for this anime is, yeah, definitely watch it. It may be complete trash and just terrible, but, you know, it's definitely worth your time if you like anything that's just a little bit bizarre. If you like comedy, which I would say finding good comedy in anime is actually quite difficult, outside of a few sources, just because we run into a lot of the same stuff, and it's difficult to find something new. And this has kind of been forgotten, and coming back into this, even though it's almost 2 decades old at this point, it's such a breath of fresh air, and it's kind of odd too how contemporary the comedy is, even with being 2019 right now. So again, for this trash anime, it's definitely worth a watch. You will not regret it, even though unless you watch the original version, of course. It's fantastic. It's not dull. I was adequately surprised, and I'm so glad I've finally found something that's quote-unquote garbage that I could actually enjoy in this channel. So, woo! Finally done. So, a little bit of housekeeping is I'm coming back to making regular videos, trying to go weekly, and I'm going to keep working on my editing style. And then as well, I'm going to see the next anime that I'm going to watch is probably going to be like, I think I'm going to try to watch all of Garvey's Wing, and give you a little report on that and tell you what I find in that one. I am not expecting anything good to come out of that. It's the only saving grace, though, is it's only a couple episodes. So until next time, this has been Inside the Dumpster, and I'll talk to you later.